to Marcus Garvey, a people without a knowledge of the past, history, origins, and culture is like a tree without roots. Good day, historians. I hope you're doing well there. I hope you're safe, happy, and comfortable. In this episode of History Talks, we will be talking about the importance of history. This is different this time because we have here 4 of the outstanding students of Surigao State College of Technology from Malimuno campus to give us their inputs and learnings about the importance of history in different perspectives or areas. We have here James Ednalig, Herbert Bantilan, Marjorie Bonotan, and Marjorie Villaronza. So, if you're curious, if you're ready and eager to learn and understand, let's dig in. Hi students, how are you?
We're good.
Alright, how is your studying this time of pandemic? You, Mark?
It's quite hard.
Alright, for you, Marjorie?
It's challenging, but we know that we can overcome it.
Yeah. So, let's start talking about history. We all know that history is a record of past events and times, especially in connection with the human race, right? So, for you, Mr. Ednalig, being a student, what is the importance of history in terms of your relationship with your peers?
As a student, history plays a vital role to me. It is because through studying history, I can have a glimpse about the past that explains not just only my present, but also about everything. There are many lessons that I can learn from the past that are applicable in my present and can help me for my future. Moreover, history is very significant also as a relationship with my peers, in a way that through our histories as friends, we can be able to recall our past experiences, it's either good or bad, that shaped us to be matured and help us to be a fully grown individual. From my past experiences, I have met different types of people and I have different circle of friends that until now I still value the most. But some of us need to grow apart, and by the help of the lesson from those history, I can now determine what type of people I am talking to and who are those who truly consider me as their friend.
Okay, Mr. James, talking about the lessons you get from those friends you have, for you, what is the most important lesson you learned that you apply and that shape you to who you is right now?
As what I have said, I have friends that we lose each other's communication because we took different paths in life in order for us to grow independently. But I did not take it in the wrong way. From that experience, I learned the lesson that we need to be apart from each other to grow and face our own journey for our future. Another lesson that I have learned is that nothing or no one is permanent in this constantly changing world. But we just have to embrace and adapt for the changes to be fully grown individuals. Those are some lessons that I constantly apply in myself that help and shape me to what I am now in the present.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Ednalig. That is so inspiring of you. Now let's move to religion or the church or of the faith. Now, Mr. Bantilan, what is your stand on it?
Well, truth be told, as a follower of the church, I have experienced a life-changing history. Trials and difficulties are part of our existence, and that's a fact. However, I am able to arise a fearless perspective because I have a powerful weapon in me. And do you want to know what it is? It's faith. It's faith, my dear friends. Well, to tell you honestly, I was once a completely different person before I even entered the church. But eventually, I was called and somehow realized the value of living. I felt victory and priceless joy. I never thought life could be so much better. Now the point is, those certain histories of mine is what stimulates me to share these exact doctrines that reform my ways in life. After all, history is a learning process. It punches you, it destroys you, and then it creates you.
What does your history with the church tell you?
Well, in such manner, my history with the church has molded me into the person I am today. My history with the church has given me and led me to the values I needed, including the courage of talking right here in front of you right now. In simple terms, my history with the church has convinced me that a life with God is a life worth living for.
So what do you think is the importance of history as a follower of the church in relation with faith?
Practically, when you encourage someone to follow something, it asks you first, why should they follow? And that's when history enters the story. If we're going to talk about it, the essence of history in the context of being a follower of the church is that it showed you more reasons to strengthen your faith. Your history itself is a testimony for other individuals into why should they follow and go after the same direction you are. In addition, it's a reference that testifies whether what you are pursuing is true or a fallacy, knowing that at the end of the day, a terrible past does not mean a bad future.
Well, I agree with that, Mr. Bantilan. Knowing what you believed in could really strengthen your faith. And of course, if you deeply understand, then you're confident with it. Now, moving in terms of the family, Miss Bonotan, how important is the history in that term?
Our family history has significance for us, our family, and even future generations we will never meet. Knowing our cultural past and where we come from might help us develop a strong sense of individuality. Learning about our ancestors' lives helps us to understand the struggles they faced. Knowing our family history allows us to be more resilient. The way we react to our family history and construct our own narratives about ourselves helps to shape our own real core identity. It's about meeting people with whom we can form strong ties and finding our home. It's about roots, branches, and leaves, as well as complete forests. It is all about us.
You said that through understanding history, we can learn about the struggles of our ancestors. So, can you share, Marjorie, some glimpse of the struggles your ancestors did face?
In my teens, my parents always tell me about their experiences and struggles while they are at my age. My grandparents, they didn't let my parents to go to school. They experienced to just eat one time a day and with just scraps and vegetables. My parents always make me realize that we are not born with a golden spoon in our mouth. By this time, we value everything we have right now. The privilege to study, the food that we ate, and the things we have. And by that history, I've learned a lot.
We should not take advantage of everything that we have right now. Now moving on to Mr. Villaronza, let's talk about the community, your relationship with your neighbor, and how does a history plays an important role in here?
I have been in one place settling along with diverse neighborhood. They had different needs and wants from the community to sustain their life through this. I have witnessed how everybody helped each other in terms of providing all sorts of needs, especially when the destructive calamity hit the community. Thus, this history of Bayanihan often reminds me that wherever I go or settle, I should always be grateful and helpful to my neighbors and to the whole community, because I believe that a person has two hands, one for helping himself and the other for helping others.
You're saying that Bayanihan is one example of a remarkable history as a community settler. Now, Mr. Villaronza, can you share some of the experience you have where you actually lend help or you joined a Bayanihan in those times of calamities?
I must say that there were few to mention, but I remembered how I'd helped others gather themselves up because they cannot do it themselves due to frailness. It was when the 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit the Surigao city that I didn't have the courage to lend my help. I helped out the elders to evacuate in a safer place, and that's a fulfilling aid that I did.
Yes, it's true that helping others is such a fulfilling act. Congratulations for that, Mr. Villaronza. Listening to the inputs and learnings you shared today, it made me feel inspired and encouraged as an individual that after all the life lessons and learnings you have shared today, it made me realize that we have a responsibility to make our history a more remarkable one. And also, so that the next generation could cut lessons from us, for them to be prepared. So, just as what Theodore Roosevelt said, that the more you know the past, the better you are prepared for the future.
Well, thank you, students, for all the presents you gave to us this day. God bless to all of you and to all our historians out there. Keep safe and God bless.